Congratulations, Hamzat fans. Your guy, after so many months and months and years and weight misses and COVID and this and that and that and this, he's finally, after the help of TJ Dillashaw's EPO providing coach, he's finally gained some cardio and has finally won a fight and has finally won a title. Now, of course, I am joking. That's just one to trigger the Hamzat Chimaev fans, which they're going to be triggered no matter what. Let me just say this off the bat. They're already going to flood the comments. Even if I glaze Chimaev to the moon and back, they're still going to say, brother, you were wrong, brother. You got a fight prediction wrong, brother, because it never happens, bro. No one is allowed to get fight predictions wrong, but nonetheless, Hamzat Chimaev beat Dricus du Plessis. It was a good performance. I thought Dricus du Plessis would win. You guys know that. I've been really backing Dricus du Plessis really for months. I mean, even before the second Strickland fight, I said DDP is going to beat Strickland, then he's going to beat Chimaev in the summer. It doesn't happen that way. Just he lost to Chimaev. I really did think DDP would be a lot stronger. I thought DDP would be able to get out of the bad positions better. I thought he'd have the physicality advantage over Chimaev, but I was wrong. Breaking news, human beings are wrong, but I was wrong. I can admit that, of course. Hamzat Chimaev, again, I don't know if he took EPO, or I don't know if he took anabolic steroids, or if he's training with the Trent twins or John Jones, but Hamzat Chimaev had the strength to hold down DDP for a lot of this fight. I mean, there was times where he had 5 minutes, borderline 5 minutes of control time. It was like 4.5 minutes, I think, in some of these rounds. He really, really dominated DDP. It was so entertaining, right, guys? It wasn't, spoiler alert, but they're going to act like it was because he won. So we have to pretend like it was a really great performance, when in reality, it was a pretty standard, I thought Anthony Hernandez had a way better performance like a few weeks ago, but I get it. He beat Roman Dolidze. I get that. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend as if I picked DDP to win. So the fact that he did that to DDP is very impressive. But at the same time, it's not like I picked DDP to completely dominate him. I was well aware, while backing DDP, while picking DDP, I was well aware that DDP could lose. I knew this was a 50-50 fight. I just went with one of the 50s. 50-50. I went with one of the 50s, that being DDP. I was wrong. But nonetheless, Hamzat Chimaev, real solid performance. Instantly gets the takedown in round 1. Takes down DDP. And then from there, I was a little bit worried. My chat was a little bit worried. We were saying, you know what? That's just round 1. Round 2 comes. He gets it again. Now, at that point, I'm like, hey, you know what? I think Chimaev, once we get past round 2, he's going to slow down. Round 3 comes. He gets the takedown again. And now I'm telling my chat, you know what? It's over, boy. It's just over. Because DDP at this point needs to get a finish. Round 4 comes along. Gets the takedown again. Like, DDP really up until rounds 1 through 4 had 0 moments. He might have had one Darce choke, I think in round 1, to be honest. I think it was like a Darce choke, which I was going crazy for, because of course I was. But other than that, he had no moments. What am I saying? He had no moments. He just really had no moments. There was not even enough time for him to get anything going on the feet, because Hamza just instantly took him down. Round 5, though, of course, this is what gave me the false hope. This was the round that actually annoyed me about this fight, because, Hamzat, he goes for the takedown, and he gets it. And there's a moment, with a minute and a half left, where DDP reverses it. He's on top of Hamzat. He's landing some shots. I think he ends up getting, some kind of a guillotine on Hamzat. Hamzat, pops his head out. And then he somehow ends up on Hamzat's back and gets a rear naked choke attempt. You don't understand how insane I was going, because it would have been the most DDP way ever to beat Hamzat Chimaev by losing 4 rounds to nothing and then fluking the 5th round. That would have been the most DDP win ever, but unfortunately we can't have fun in this sport anymore. I don't know, it is what it is, but Hamzat Chimaev, of course, he didn't get subbed. He survived on his back like a baby. DDP, I'll take that as a victory. DDP had Hamzat Chimaev on his back like a baby. So at least we won 1 round off of Hamzat. But nonetheless, Hamzat, of course, he won rounds 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's probably a 10-8 somewhere in there. I mean, to me, 10-8's really, you got to do a lot more than what Hamzat did. And again, it was a good performance. I will say that, but it wasn't It really wasn't this insanely dominant Khamzat Chimaev performance where he really dragged DDP into the deep waters. I mean, you could say he did. You could say he did, but it's not like DDP was bloodied and he was just elbowing the shit out of DDP and DDP was in a bad way. He had this sub attempt on DDP and this sub attempt, and DDP was looking up at the clock and he was desperate to get out and he was broken by the end of the fight. He wasn't broken. I mean, the amount of heart DDP has to still try to go for the finish in round 5. There's no fighter on the planet that has the amount of heart DDP has, in my humble opinion. So I truly do think, though, it was a good performance from Khamzat. Could have been better. I wish it was better. I wish Khamzat Chimaev subbed DDP in the first round if that's the kind of performance you were going to have. It is what it is, though. People are going to say I'm coping and that I just can't accept the fact that Khamzat's the new champ, bro. Like, look, have fun with one fight a year, Khamzat Chimaev fans. Have fun with, Khamzat Chimaev's about to face Anthony Hernandez and he pulls out with an illness. Khamzat Chimaev's about to face, and he misses weight. Have fun with that. You guys really wanted Khamzat to win. You guys are really happy about the Khamzat wins. No, but in all seriousness, man, DDP, we will be back for our belt. There's not much else to say. I mean, my chat, we were pretty angry. I think, to be honest, of anyone on MMA YouTube, I probably had the most pro DDP chat. Like, there was like a few guys that were, trolling and coming into my chat and crapping on me, but most of my chat was pretty like sad and upset. So I've built a pretty base chat, in my opinion, a pretty base community. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, Dricus and Khamzat, I mean, look, he got the bonus. Dana White cut Muhammad Mokaev for being boring, and he crapped on guys like he's crapped on fighters for boring performances in the past. But Khamzat Chimaev, he gets a bonus even though he's already a multi-millionaire. Of course, you're gonna see people cope about what was the ref? Mark Goddard. Mark Goddard stopped them and he made them stand up. Yeah, because Khamzat Chimaev, it got to a point where he was literally just laying on top of DDP, not doing anything. And I'm well aware as well that it does take two to tango. Like, Dricus du Plessis should have tried to get up better, I guess. He should have tried to I almost felt like DDP was almost trying to survive rather than get to better positions and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, was Khamzat Chimaev really going for the finish? Was he really posturing up and going for the ground and pound, or posturing up and really going for that sub? Not really. So yes, I understand that it's partially Dricus' fault, because he should have just tried to get up. But I've really put the blame more on Chimaev for really not going for the finish like he usually does. I think that's all I got to say on this fight. DDP lost. A lot of South Africans were in my comments, were really supporting DDP, so it is what it is. I appreciated the support throughout this. The support? What are we, freaking MMA Guru? The support throughout this entire fight week. You guys really showed me a lot of love, and I gained a lot of subs, and just for all the hate that I'm going to get, for all the hate I'm going to get from the Chimaev fans, from you're a Chimaev fan but you live in Pakistan, and you're a Chimaev fan but you live in fucking Abu Dhabi. These guys don't have fighters from their own region, so of course they have to glaze Khamzat. But nonetheless, for all the hate that I'm going to get from the Chimaev fans, the love matters to me 10 times more, so I appreciate it. I'm sad that DDP lost, of course. I'm really heartbroken by it, but it is what it is. This is the sport. This is what I love about the sport. I went 10 toes down on this DDP Khamzat Chimaev fight. I really put my all into saying I think DDP is going to win, and I was wrong, and I can admit that because it's a sport and people are wrong, and it was one of the most 50-50 fights in the history of the damn sport. That's all I got for you guys today. Like and sub, comment, share, become a member down below. Peace. Anthony Hernandez, please save us.